You hear whispers from your fellow students in the hallway. OMG, did you hear it happened? You head to the gymnasium where you're met with unbelievable sights. Someone dressed as a goat doused in glitter, an angry principal, and a sheepish-looking basketball team. The basketball captain is tight-lipped, and what isn't being said speaks volumes. To understand this problem, you must piece together all the clues by examining the obvious evidence and making inferences about what may be hidden. And it's not just mascot misadventures that require inference. Readers use it too. Today, we'll take a deeper look at making inferences and using them to understand what we read. Ready? Let's dig in. When faced with a puzzle, we gather evidence to solve it. To prove the basketball team pranked the mascot, we would need evidence to support this conclusion. Readers use evidence too. Text evidence is information from a text used to support a reader's ideas and opinions about the text. There are two kinds of text evidence. Explicit text evidence is evidence that is stated directly in a text. It's right there, like the goat in the gymnasium or a team captain's confession. Implicit text evidence is evidence that is indirectly stated or implied in a text. Readers need to make inferences or use their background knowledge combined with text evidence to draw conclusions. Inferencing is reading between the lines, like interpreting guilty facial expressions or incriminating glitter on the point guard's shoe. In this lesson, we'll read about other sports scandals. In the world's biggest sports scandals, we'll use explicit and implicit text evidence to make inferences about what happened. Let's get started. What exactly makes something a scandal? Look in paragraph 1 for text evidence that defines this term. Based on paragraph 1, what is the most likely definition of a scandal? From text evidence in paragraph 1, we can infer that a scandal is a wrong action that causes public outrage. The text states some athletes make mistakes and fans are shocked and the media goes wild. This definition puts together this text evidence and draws a conclusion. Now we know what makes something a scandal, we can start making inferences about the world's biggest sports scandals. Read paragraph 2. In this section, we learned that during the 1919 World Series, some White Sox players accepted money and threw their games. They deliberately played poorly so they'd lose. But why? Based on the clues in the text, why were the White Sox players paid to throw the World Series? The text states that the White Sox players were paid to throw the games by people who gambled on sports. Why? Losing to Cincinnati was an upset, meaning the White Sox were expected to win. Therefore, we can infer that when the White Sox lost, gamblers betting against them won a lot of money, since it was an unexpected result. Now read paragraph 3. In soccer, using your hands to score a goal is against soccer rules, but Maradona's goal was allowed to stand. Why did the referees allow Maradona's goal? The text states that the referees did not have a clear view, so we can infer that they couldn't confirm that Maradona had used his hands to score, so allowed the goal. Maradona himself said the goal was made a little with the head of Maradona and a little with the hand of God, implying that he believes he scored through divine intervention. He later admitted to using his hand, saying it was symbolic revenge for a war between Argentina and the UK. What can we infer about Maradona's symbolic revenge? To make this inference, we can use our background knowledge of the meaning of the word symbolic, describing something as representing something else. Maradona wasn't looking for literal revenge, but winning against England represented revenge to him. Let's read on. Read paragraph 4. We can infer that the motive for the attack against Kerrigan was to impact her skating abilities. Which sentence from the text best supports this inference? Harding's husband hired the man to attack Kerrigan and impact her skating abilities so Harding would make the U.S. Olympic team instead of Kerrigan. But his plan didn't work. Kerrigan did compete and even wore the outfit she was attacked in to send a message. What is most likely the message Kerrigan was trying to send? The text offers these clues. Kerrigan and Harding were rival figure skaters. Kerrigan worked hard to recover in time to participate in the Olympics, and then won a silver medal. Putting these ideas together proves Kerrigan would not be intimidated or defeated. Now read paragraph 5. What does the phrase "denied deliberately cheating" imply? Brady denied deliberately cheating, suggesting that he wasn't aware he was giving his team an advantage. However, the NFL didn't believe this. Which sentence from the text best supports this inference? The fact that Brady was suspended and the New England Patriots were fined $1 million suggests that the NFL did not believe Brady's claims of innocence. Take a minute to reflect on the entire passage. Using clues from the text, what's the main difference between the 1919 World Series scandal and the other scandals in the text? Apart from the 1919 World Series scandal, when the players were paid to lose, all of the other scandals shared winning as the motive. Maradona wanted Argentina to win the World Cup. Tonya Harding wanted to win her place at the Olympics. And Brady helped his team to win by using underinflated footballs. Today we practiced making inferences in an informational text by using our background knowledge and evidence from the text to draw conclusions beyond what is directly stated. The skills we practiced today can be applied to any informational text, so go beyond the page and continue your journey as a lifelong reader and learner.